and he's just hit the gates.
We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Now, one of the issues that we had when we went north, when we first crossed the Firth of Forth, was the anchor winch powered itself up. Now, currently, both the anchor winch and the mainsail winch runs through that isolator. And if you recall, we had to change that isolator whilst we were in Arbroath. And I couldn't separate the two, so it's still doing exactly the same. The anchor winch powers the mainsail winch as well. I've now got a cable big enough, heavy enough to take the mainsail winch. So the spare switch that we bought, I'll now separate the two. So I'm going to have a mainsail winch isolator and an anchor winch isolator, and that will go there. And so that wasn't very exciting. It was awkward to sort out, but we've now got the main sail winch also isolated and away from the anchor winch, so we can run with the anchor winch isolated but still operate the mainsail. It took a bit of doing actually, given that it's just a simple isolator switch. But the wiring on this boat, like all boats, takes a little bit of fathoming. It's okay, it's good, it's just trying to work out how they've done it. So we're just getting ready to make improvements to Baru, this time on the fuel system, and this is to correct the problem that we had on our journey going north when we had to be rescued. So here we are. What we've got over there is a shut-off valve, an inline shut-off valve. That's just so that we don't lose too much fuel going back to tank when we open the system up to make any filter changes. T-piece, so straight through to filter 1, the elbow down at the bottom across to filter 2, which would be here. That's currently the filter that we're using, that's in situ. This is the old filter that had a glass bowl at the bottom. We had to change it because the glass bowl cracked. Got a new glass bowl to go into there. So flow, this will be filter 1 in the system, so the flow out will come to the valve here, and when the handle is in that position, the down position, that will flow from there through to engine. When it's in that position, that shuts off that flow, so if that filter blocks I can shut it off. filter 2 here, the fuel will then flow that way to engine and keep us running. So, not a bad little system, I think. All of this will be mounted on a board, on this board, and this board will be at the back of, or just inside my engine bay, where I can easily get to it. Little bit of a change, we just take Neva out for a run. She hasn't been out of the marina for quite some time, so just giving her a clean off and running up the coast a little bit. Beautiful day out here. Hartlepool headland just over there. Going through Pot Alley, across the reefs, and you'll not make it out on this shot, but the Steely Pier ahead. Then on up to Cribden. That's about where we'll turn back up. Okay, so I've got the board sorted. One filter will go there, one filter will go there, and then in between will be the diverter valve. So I'm using captive pieces at the back, so we can just bolt straight through. So we're looking in the engine bay from the hatch, top down. There's the new mounting position for the filter. That new board is the mounting board. First filter's on. Second filter will be back over just behind that, where that wiring is now, and in between it will be the diverter valve. Well, I'm a couple of hours further on. We've got now the second filter in place, and that's plumbed up. I've just got to connect the tank to the feet of the tank. So there we've got the T-piece, which takes the flow from the tank to the back filter, and just in front of it I've got there, it's just a shut off valve, so we can shut the supply off if we need to. And here is the diverter valve, so that's on for filter 2, which is that one, and that's on for filter 1, which is that one. And in between is for both. So when it's in that position, we're running on filter 1. If we start to get an engine splutter, we can quickly lift the lid, switch it over, and run then off that filter. That shuts that filter off and runs on that, but it doesn't shut the supply off whilst you're running. So the next task is to connect to the tank supply, and then start bleeding. So because these two filters are higher than the engine filter, which is here, what we'll have to do is bleed from the tops initially, and then bleed from the engine filter. Right, so here we go to start up. And she's fired. That's now running on filter 2. So to switch it back, it's just a simple, and that goes back to filter 1, and that's it. A little bit unusual at the moment. We're on the lowest tide of the year. We've had a supermoon over the last couple of days, and that's really pulling the tide down. This basin is absolutely empty. So looking up towards the marina gates, the lock gates, gives a good opportunity to see where the channel runs. We're about 5 minutes before absolute low tide currently. deepest part of the channel does run closer to the other inner breakwater. Across, but it's almost straight in. There's not a lot of difference in depth. Got the fishermen down there digging away for bait. So it is unusual to see it so empty.